Good evening, I'm John Carter and welcome to Poland Daily. The United States Ambassador to Poland, Georgette Mosbacher, and the Ambassador of Poland to the United States, Piotr Wilczek, wrote a letter published today in newspaper Rzeczpospolita Weekly. It included details about the US Congress and the Pentagon's consideration of further steps for a permanent American military base in Poland. It was also mentioned that the Polish side is ready to financially support the new project.
The letter written by the United States Ambassador to Poland, Georgette Mosbacher, and the Ambassador of Poland to the United States, Piotr Wilczek, is a huge step towards the final decision about the permanent American military base in Poland, according to commentators. The Congress of the United States and the Pentagon are considering further steps in the matter of a permanent American military base in Poland, and the Polish side is ready to support this investment financially. We believe that these actions will help to strengthen the deterrent in the region, but also will pay attention to President Trump's priorities concerning the division of defense loads. There were a lot of rumors about the permanent American military base in Poland, but this matter sped up after a mutual declaration for strategic cooperation between Poland and the United States was signed in Washington on September 28 by both presidents, Donald Trump and Andrzej Duda.
The information we have from the Polish government clearly shows that intensive talks over this project are ongoing. The quicker it happens, the better for our safety and for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization.
The unofficial information from Rzeczpospolita Weekly shows that the decision about the permanent American military base in Poland has been made, although the opposition are doubting the potential success of the project.
We've already started, but we're in an advanced stage now. The Congress will be waiting for a report on this matter until the end of March. It's an honor for me to be a vice president of the Polish-American bilateral group. We will hold talks with our partners from the Congress to support this project.
American commentator Jack Posobiec is convinced that the American military base will have an influence on Poland's safety and will change the Central Eastern European system.
From perspective of Poland is going to be welcoming to American soldiers. I've seen other Americans that are here on NATO missions or deployments for trainings, and they always say that the Polish people, it's the #1 welcome they get anywhere in Europe, possibly anywhere in the world.
In a letter published in Rzeczpospolita Weekly, the ambassadors Mosbacher and Wilczek announced that the contracts concerning the purchase of American gas is just the beginning. They also announced that as a part of the Trójmorze initiative, American companies will engage Central Europe in the development of energy, transport and communication infrastructure. Until now, this area was reserved only for EU structural funds. In 2019, it will be 100 years since the establishment of diplomatic relations between Poland and the United States.
The Law and Justice Party have decided to form a coalition with non-partisan members of the local assembly in Lower Silesia. This means that the Conservative Party, led by Jarosław Kaczyński, will rule in 7 districts of Poland.
Naszym celem jest zawarcie koalicji takiej, żeśmy ją zawarli.
Our goal was to form a coalition that would give the Lower Silesia district opportunities to grow. I'm very happy that all the sides gave up some of their demands, because that's how dialogue should look.
Zgłasza się szereg postulatów.
Pokazaliśmy, że możemy się.
I'm very glad that we've managed to work out our political differences. It's an example for others to follow. I would also like to appeal to politicians of the Polish People's Party to not stop their regional representatives from forming coalitions, because that could limit the effectiveness of local governments.
Że osłabiać zarządy.
Istotą takich rozmów jest to, że powinny rozmawiać.
Just to be clear, we hope that Lower Silesia will become a shining example of cooperation above political parties. We are in the middle of talks with a member of a regional council from the Polish People's Party, who said he'd be happy to work together with us. We also invite all the councilmen and women from the Civic Platform Party. Lower Silesia should unite us all.
Tonight, at the Warsaw Archcathedral in the Old Town, there begins a prayer action called Prayer Without Borders for Independent Poland. The project was started by the Schumann Institute and Schumann groups from all over Poland. It will last for 100 months in order to commemorate the 100 years since Poland reclaimed independence.
The series of prayers will start with a blessing by Cardinal Kazimierz Nycz tonight at the Archcathedral Basilica of St. John the Baptist and will be followed by the first Prayer Without Borders. For the next 100 months, we invite everyone to participate on the 13th of each month. Let's fill the cathedral with the faithful. This is a project which will continue to radiate and create such prayers in all other Polish and European cities. After the Mass, the faithful will pray before the Blessed Sacrament in the form of songs, prayer calls and reflections in combination with the musical setting. All this is about to renew Europe, to return to Christian roots, to change the functioning of the European Union. It is to be a community of the peoples of Europe. Prayer will be not only a thanksgiving prayer, but also a request for the prompt beatification of the servant of God, Robert Schuman, who after the war began the mission of building the Commonwealth of Europe. It is a good thing that the Prayer Without Borders is happening at the Archcathedral, because it shows us that in today's world not only ammunition and hard diplomacy matter, but also soft power, and here the soft power is the prayer. Prayers will be said for the purpose of building a community of nations based on Christian foundations in the face of ever-increasing threats posed by the civilization of death. The main question is what Michael Archangel asked, who if not God? And we can say in a spirit of self-confidence against evil, who if not me? Of course it is important who I am, but do we want to be in God's hands or do we want to make God our weapon? The first Prayer Without Borders took place on May 13, 2018 during the European Schuman Festival in the Temple of Divine Providence in Warsaw's Wilanów.
The Vice President of the European Commission, Frans Timmermans, is urging Romania to stop its judicial reform. It's possible that the European Commission will initiate the process to place sanctions on Romania if the country refuses to budge. The process, regulated under Article 7 of the Treaty on the European Union, has already been launched against Poland and Hungary for alleged breaches of the rule of law.
Apart from condemning the Romanian judicial reform, the European Parliament also passed a resolution urging the powers in Bucharest to fight against corruption with greater effort and condemning police brutality against anti-government protesters while also criticizing the alleged erosion of the rule of law. The Vice President of the European Commission argued that the country is moving in the wrong direction.
The developments over the last 12 months sadly have put into question and in some cases even reversed the progress made over the last 10 years. As you know, in our reports we published previously, we also had a look at the last 10 years, and remarkable progress was achieved over that 10 years. So to now see that we see forms of regress is really, really saddening.
Protesters supporting the opposition have taken to the streets in the last 2 years over proposed changes to the judicial system and criminal code, which they argue are beneficial to corrupt politicians.
We're asking to suspend all ongoing appointments and dismissal procedures for senior prosecutors immediately and to relaunch a process to appoint a chief anti-corruption prosecutor. And we're asking to freeze the entry into force of the changes to the criminal code and criminal procedure code.
The European Commission has earlier sued Poland in the European Court of Justice over the country's judicial reform. The court sided with the European Commission by issuing an injunction freezing the reform until the final verdict will be delivered sometime next year.
Thank you very much for joining us here this evening at Poland Daily. I'm John Carter. Stay tuned after the break for Poland Daily Weather, and then join me after that for Poland Daily Business.